Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Force Nothing Royale. This is the second episode, and for those that haven't seen this before, I'll briefly explain. You have a king, and then you have a female villager. The king starts with an axe, just like you would in Fortnite, and then you have this aircraft, which you can get into. It looks like a shark with a cat on top, which is really weird. But yeah, you can get into this, and then you have to fly and find an area to build your TC, and then it becomes standard Force Nothing. Now, at the 5-minute mark, your aircraft combusts, so you need to make sure that you've dropped off somewhere. I've let 2 people replay it because last time they couldn't find these gaps, and they dropped off their villager and king here. Oh, man. Hank says that was close. Oh, yeah, his villager's almost dead. You know, your king does have a small amount of attack with that axe. You lose your villager, you're done. There they go. So, does that cat have a hat on? His frosted tips. Is that a helmet? Turn back this way, please. That is a hat. And also, the shark has propeller or rocket fins, and is that a chef hat, or is that just a... I don't know. That's a weird unit, but I'm glad it exists, because this wouldn't be possible without it. Whoa! Eldra, you better be quick. These guys have to decide on where to go quickly. At 5 minutes, this thing explodes. Now, they will not die if they're in it. We saw that last time. Hank says, oh, we don't have Diplo. I would prefer they continue to play, but I'm okay without Diplo. Trirem needs to find a spot. Trirem wanted to go here. Trirem's now going back. Trirem, you gotta pick here, man. He didn't want to be near where the waves are. So the storm will progress starting at 30 minutes, and it goes by section of trees. Trirem! Trirem! You need to pick one quick. Okay, this is fine. Freaking hilarious, man, and he does have space for a TC. Oh, my goodness, that scared me, even though I knew it was coming. Whew. Alright. Wipe some sweat off the brow, and let's introduce these players. So, first off, we have Afrofaxer, who's right up against the edge of the map. Not ideal for this. He is playing as the Britons. In the red, we have Arklet, who's playing as the Malay. He's further from the edge. We then have Eldri playing as the Slavs, and we have Byzantines for Trirem. They are also pretty close to the edge. We have Big Fancy Baby playing as the Vietnamese in the teal. In the gray, we have Burmese for Oedipus. In the green, we have Rohin. There you go, Germans, or Roach. Again, playing as the Huns. And then we have Teutons, who's the creator of the map here, Hank. So I will briefly explain this for people who have not seen this yet. This is like Battle Royale games where a storm comes in at certain times. So at the 30-minute mark, a very, very weak storm comes in, and it will hit the dark layer of trees here. After another 10 minutes, then this layer gets hit. Another 10 minutes, this layer gets hit, and it continues on all the way until the center area. So this snowy area in the center will not get hit by the storm. So the storm progresses every 10 minutes past 30, and the storm also gets a little bit stronger. So I think that's all you need to know for now, and we'll address every other concern once we approach it. Pick Persians, make a barracks in a house, and drop those bad boys on your enemy before time runs out. That would be amazing, Dave. Someone has to do that at some point. Now, would it work? I guess if you would only need one militia to win the fight. One militia, your king, and your vill. It could work. What does the storm do? Well, it kills you, slowly. And again, the more the storm moves in, the stronger it gets. So you'll see as the game goes on just how weak it is at the beginning. But it also kills your buildings, it will kill your king, so you're forced to chop to the middle. So this is a nothing map, but you're forced to chop to the center. It's a really unique idea. It's really unique. It's probably less fun when you're playing it, but it's certainly fun to watch. Arclet says, what's with the -1 damage on the king? And Hank said, Game didn't know how to put a 0 down. Yeah, Hank said the king can attack, but it does very little damage. So that's about it, guys. That is about it. There are relics, of course, which most players can see. Whoa, don't look at the Fog of War, Big Fancy Baby, kids. That's 18 plus right there. Oh, I guess it makes sense. I guess it makes sense that everyone would have that Fog of War. Yeah, not everybody. Some people were a little bit more picky. Oh man, I'm 25. Why do I think this is funny? When am I gonna grow up, chat? When am I gonna grow up? Alright. So, we have 20 minutes until that storm comes in. Someone says red spot is super good. Yeah, I agree. I really like that. If you're in the corner, you technically have to chop more trees to get to the middle, so I think being on this side would be best. Gray's position as well, pretty good. They're both right up against this snowy area. I've seen a few people not chopping towards the center, though. It seems like they've sorted that out. Like this. This is not going to be good for Big Fancy Baby. I don't care how fancy or big he is. He needs to chop north. 30 here, super funny. And I'm pretty sure when you grow up, your parents or society makes you think that making dick jokes and fart jokes is just immature. But then everyone gets old and everyone thinks it's funny. Nothing wrong with it. Do Huns convert siege? They cannot. Wreck int. They cannot. And I think that leaves us to our next point, and we can bring the overlay up. The civilizations and what is possible with the civilizations.
1 more month until I join the small, exclusive 2-year club. Can't wait to see that sweet, sweet 2-year badge. Love everything you do, man. Even the dick jokes.
Vapor Trail, thank you for 23. Vapor Trail, I can't wait for you to get that either. I'm so pumped. The day that 2-year badge comes out, I am going to lose it. Now, it could look really lame, but I think it's going to look awesome. There are, I think, about 40 to 50 people who are subbed at 23 months right now. Maybe more than that, but let's see. We're looking at the 6th of September. I think early October? Late September, early October, the 2-year date will come in. There were only 7 people who subscribed on the day I got partnership because I did not stream that day. Dave was one of them. But I'm really not sure how Twitch counts your days, because if you were to take off, or not take off, but not be subbed for 4 or 5 days and then resub, that streak still stays alive. So maybe Dave has fallen behind or some others have fallen behind. Who knows? Really appreciate the support, though, dude. 23 months is a long time. That's 2 years of your life. You could have been doing anything else, and you're here supporting me, so thank you. Flap Chops, thank you as well. Dave was the first one. So, it's a pretty short story. I told the community at the time, 2 years ago, that I'd finally gotten approved for partner. And so what happens is they'll email you saying you're approved for partner, and then you have to fill out your contract and all this information. So I told them I'm approved, and then it'll be active soon. But Twitch didn't give me a day or a time. I just knew it would be soon. So I said that, and Dave, for months prior to me getting a sub button, he said, I'm going to be the first sub. Don't anybody steal it from me. And of course, because he said that, a lot of people wanted to steal it. So one evening, I was taking a nap, and I wake up, and I had a bunch of text messages from Dave, and he's like, was it me? Was it me? Was I the first one? Huh? And so I went to my PC, and I checked, and Dave had beat somebody by 6 minutes. I guess a bunch of people were checking the stream, and Dave beat somebody by 6 minutes, and there were a few people, as I said, that subscribed on that first day. I really should have kept the list. I could probably guess, though. So we have Teutons, Slavs, Huns, Vietnamese, Malay, Burmese, Britons, Byzantines. So Huns are good because you don't need house space, so you can get more population. You can chop faster naturally. But if you'd like to go for the artificial cutting, with Onager, you'd want any other civ, except for Turks, which isn't here. And Grim won the first Force Nothing Royale game with the Onager cutting. And then the Hun player ran into this awkward situation where he couldn't get to the center because someone was in there with units keeping him out. So for that reason, I think it is a risk to play Huns, but they will get some early game advantages for sure. Yellow Lumber Camp. Oh, you know what? I saw this pawn. I just didn't really think there's any issue with this. This is kind of funny. So he placed the lumber camp here. And then he's like, oh wait, there's more space on this side. Now I wonder what happens.
Yes.
Because this lumber camp has 599 out of 600 HP. What on earth happened there? Did someone else's king show up? Must have been at that, because it'll do 1 damage. Thanks for the story. Nice to hear and to see how much your channel has evolved. Thank you, man. So, guys, it's not played on Explored. So, especially if it's your first time, you might be really confused. So what probably happened was he realized that his ship was about to explode within 5 minutes. So he wanted to drop down to an area quickly. Let's look at his Fog of War. Yeah, so the first thing he saw was this. And then he probably started chopping wood. It looks like he chopped 58 wood with his 1 villager. That's actually a long period of time. And then he realized, oh no, there's more space. I can actually build a TC here. And then he quickly transported. Trireme was pretty close to dying as well. I'm sure it'll happen at some point, but I'm not sure where your villager or your king would go in that instance. Because when the ship explodes, your units don't die. They just drop off right below that. So maybe you'd just be caught in the trees. Then you'd be effectively dead, but hey, maybe that's your thing. Maybe the ship does 1 damage when it explodes. Good theory, but if the ship exploded here... No, actually that theory could be correct, because he could have transported with the ship and then sent the ship here, and it could have done damage. I don't know. We'll never have all the answers. And Oedipus hits Feudal Age. This is a guy who last time around, he dropped off his villager and his king here, and then he just resigned. Well, that's a fast feudal time for him, and he's going to sell wood. He will get the first look at the prices. And everybody else was trying to be quick as well. And when they sell wood, they won't get as much gold in return. Just sell it all, man. There's plenty of wood to be chopped. Just sell it all. Look at that gold. Now, I genuinely feel like what you could do now is you could buy food to click up to Castle Age. Back in the day when I was a Force Nothing noob, I used to say, never buy food. It doesn't make sense. Because you'll get food eventually with farms. But after seeing Tato play, I saw Tato would then buy food, and when he'd hit Castle Age, he'd just make a ton of town centers, and then you can always sell wood and whatnot later on with the extra vills. We'll see. Beauty of community games, you never know. There's no metagame to this. Trees only have 50 wood. Ah, good catch. Okay. That also helps. The first storm is coming in. I don't think it'll hit anybody. Actually, you know what? It could hit yellow. Yellow is screwed. This is a very weak storm. But I think the first storm is here. And if that's the case, then this villager, depending on where he goes to farm, will run into it. Are there any other examples? No, not really. Which version of AoE 2 do I buy? So, Shorty King, if you buy the Steam version, you're good to go. So, what we're using is called Voobly. Voobly is a free platform, and if you buy the HD edition, there's a free patch that allows you to play Voobly too. So, essentially, buy HD and enjoy it. And if you feel the need for Voobly, or if you want to play in community games, which we use Voobly for, then you can always use the patch. The storm should have come in at 30 minutes, Smarthy. Now, I couldn't confirm it last time, so I'm really not sure. Maybe the first bit of the storm is here, but it's so weak, and these villagers are rarely on this dark terrain. It might be there, I'm not sure. We'll know when the second one hits. Also, when you hit castle, then you should sell everything and buy stone. Yes, exactly. Because the price of stone is going to be more expensive. So buying stone as well would be smart. But what makes it real tough, if you build your castle here, you can't reposition your castle, which is a huge expense. So players are going to run into these issues. If they start building production buildings, let's say you want to go archers and you make 20 archery ranges out here because you've chopped all the way to the middle and you figure they can just run. Well, no, that's not really how it will work. You're going to have to rebuild those. So with castles, sure, you want to buy stone, but you probably don't want to build it early. I don't care how much pop space it gives you, because you'll lose that later on. And that would go for monasteries as well. Players could use their lose their relics, and you have to reposition them. It's quite complicated.
Mandatum.
Best of luck, Shorty King. Best of luck. Nah, seriously, if you're just getting this game, it's always fun to practice and improve. This is not diplomacy, so Trireme and Purple are enemies for life. They could try to not attack each other, but once castles are placed and once units come out, they will auto-attack each other. So it's kind of weird how they're bordering each other. Though I guess Trireme has no choice if he wants to cut to the middle.
Force nothing.
Mickelrus, thank you, man. Oh, Mickelrus. Dude, I gotta get you in the next game. I completely forgot. Mickelrus, if you're around to get you in the next game, please just remind me. Mickelrus was having connection issues with one of the players in the previous game, so he decided to sit out. Thank you for the sub, man. Mr. Papa, Alphonse, thank you guys for the new subs. Oblique Angle, you are correct, man. And the next wave of the storm is about to come in. It is about to come in. Yes, this is Force Nothing Battle Royale, guys. Yep. See lots of new faces. Welcome. Graves, thank you for the bits, man. Spot on, dude. Spot on. Okay, the first to Castle Age. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm way off. Green's already in Castle Age, as is blue. So Roach and Hank. But yellow and orange are now following, as is red. Yeah, so if you're just getting here, guys, and you have questions, listen up. I'm going to refresh this, or refresh you guys. Please help me out as well, because when new faces arrive, they're going to be asking these questions. I can't respond every time. This is Force Nothing Battle Royale. If you missed the beginning of the game, they started in the center with a spaceship, or an aircraft, and they got to choose their location. The first wave has already come in. It's a very weak wave. It hasn't hit anybody as far as I know. And we're about to find out if the first wave was here and the second wave will be here, or if the first wave was here and the second wave will be here. Wait, that was a misclick. That wasn't the storm. That was a misclick. Because the villagers should have died as well. Yeah. See, look. See, these villagers are now in the storm. What about this guy? We might as well rebuild it somewhere else now.
Force nothing.
Yeah, these villagers are in the storm, and they're slowly
Yeah,
losing
first
HP.
time got you live. Watched all your YouTube videos. Oh wait, 4 months already.
Oh man, the timing could not have been worse for that. Big Fancy Baby and Hank say F. Jeez. That was perfect timing for us to spot that, though, because I would have not have thought to look over here. Well, how's Teal doing? Teal seems to be okay. Yeah, yellow's kind of screwed. It's really not in a good situation. If I were him, I would probably sell a little bit more wood, build the buildings I need to go to Imp, and just get to Imp as fast as possible. And then Onager cut through, which might be the play. So, I think we know now. The first storm, or the first wave from the storm, is this area. The second one is here. I wasn't sure because they can't really use this, so Yeah, these vills will die if he doesn't pay attention. And then as the game goes on, it pulses faster. And also it does more damage per pulse. So currently this villager is losing 2 HP every, I don't know, I think it's around 20 seconds. So it's not a lot. But later on things will go down faster. He gets 8 minutes out of that new TC. Yeah, he gets 8 minutes out of the new TC before it starts getting hit. It's weird. It looks like it's lost some HP already. Yeah. It's losing some HP. So just the edge of it must be on the storm. So it's quite easy for us to follow exactly where the storm will be because of the terrain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, you just follow along. And again, this snowy area in the center does not get hit by that storm. But Hank did say that it can be off by a tower or two. It's not perfect. It's as good as it's possible to get to. And no, the trees don't disappear, Smarthy. But it's fairly self-explanatory. I also like how the storm isn't that punishing early on, so you can't avoid it. Those villagers that got sucked into the storm a moment ago could have been saved. Yep, so Monastery, Siege Workshop. Yellow will probably sell. And then he'll click up to the Imperial Age. So he's going for Grimm's strategy, which was a successful strategy. Oh no! What did he do? Did he sell? Why does he not have food now? You're up against the clock, bro. You can't be selling food. Your TC's dying. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. The other strategy that we're seeing here is add villagers. Especially Huns. Huns can't get onager anyway, so just add villagers. Chop, 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 then sell. Easy. That seems to be the most popular strategy here. How many monks do you need to survive outside the storm for a while? Dude, interesting point. Problem is the monks are dying. So, you know, I think if you just had 2 monks, you'd be fine. And that's for the early part, of course. Because you're only losing 2 HP every 20 seconds. Monks will heal much faster than that. Might even need 1. We need somebody to test this.
Yay, ready.
Is Shulker in the chat by chance? The reason I ask is there was this map. Oh, it was the D-Force Nothing. How many of you watching the stream right now recall the D-Force Nothing? The one with the exploding wild woman. You remember that? Okay, so do you recall in that game that the demo ships that come out of the wild woman, it did damage to the monument. Do you remember that? The monument lost 3 or 4 HP, and then the relics lost HP. Yeah, so during... This is how ridiculous some of these guys are. I love it. So during that game, I mentioned, I wonder if the monument can get destroyed. Oh, you'd have to make 4,000 demos, or 4,000 of these wild women to explode it. So I guess it's a test we'll never see. Well, apparently, for the rest of the stream, Shulker loaded up the map, and he started exploding. It was 9,000. He started exploding the monument. He did it so many times that he actually destroyed the monument. So we have the answer. Yes, 9,999. He made 9,999 of those things. It took him hours. And the monument does explode. So we answered the question. Now, what else was he testing? He was testing something else as well. I forget. I wish he was here. He could explain it. But I believe at one point, because it's difficult. Eventually, you'll just win. So he had to create it so an AI would go in and take the monument from him every once in a while so he wouldn't win. And I think the first time he tested it, he got it down to the hundreds, 200 or 300 explosions left after doing 9,700, and then he won the game. And he forgot. I wish I remember exactly what the explanation was, but I admire him for his dedication, because I wouldn't have done that. How do the winning conditions act if the monument gets destroyed? So he said the winning conditions stay the same. I believe. But again, when he shows up, remind me, because he's the one who tested it, obviously. And that was my theory. When the monument got destroyed, I assumed that just the area around the monument would still work. But that's very unique, because monuments should not get destroyed. So, Yellow has some idle farms here. He's going to eventually lose them and his buildings. He, I assume, has not researched Onager. I wasn't really paying attention, but he needs the food to then click the Onager upgrade. And then I think he'll be okay. I think he can cut towards the center, which is the name of the game. Arclet here, he could do the same. He'll probably build a siege workshop soon. Hank as well. And you can see why you probably want to do it Hank's way, because he has 30 more villagers. He can sell more and get more gold to do this. But I don't know what Roach is going to do. What Roach should do is he should wait for Hank to cut for him. And then he should kill Hank and just take his path. Because as Huns, you're almost forced to go trebuchets. Hey, what's the difference between AoE HD and AoE Wololo Kingdoms? So Wololo Kingdoms is just the name of the mod that you use if you purchase HD and you want to play on Voobly. So that's the name of the Voobly mod. The difference between Voobly and HD is... Alright, I'm going to go through it real quick. Better performance on Voobly, more moderation on Voobly, more rating ladders on Voobly, more mod capabilities on Voobly, more graphic capabilities on Voobly. I mean, there's a long list. I could probably write a novel on it, but essentially Voobly's better in every way. The only way that Voobly's not better is it's not quite as simple as HD, which makes sense because HD doesn't have as much. So it is a sucky situation. You know, I played on HD for over 3,000 hours, and it is a sucky situation.
Write that Voobly novel.
It's kind of confusing, you know. You buy the game, you're like, okay, I have everything I need, and then you're probably thinking, what? I need to download something else that's a free client to make what I purchased better? That is, you know, it's confusing, but it's a situation we're in, and especially for me, because I create content and I want the things to be running smoothly, I want the best game modes, I have to go to the best place for it, right? I have plain AoE and Conquerors expansion. So if you have the disc Shonsi, you can play on Voobly. It'll detect your disc version and you should be good. However, you would not be able to play versus people who have the newer civs unless you purchase the HD edition. Yes, thank you, K-Crow. Novels are fictional. That's true. Thank you. Okay, so you can see the storm has just progressed. You see the blinking stuff on the map? I don't know how I made that happen. But it just blinked in Hank's base, and these villagers are now getting sucked into the storm. And it is definitely stronger now. It is definitely stronger. So it is now on this dark terrain. You have to hide your kings, hide your wife. Because they storming everybody out here. That's not going to be the first time I bring that up. Oh, poor Yellow. He is cutting away from this, luckily. Red has lost a few villagers. Yeah, Smarty, there's slight suckage. Okay, slight suckage. I never thought I'd say that during a cast, but you can survive from it, but that slight suckage pulls you out. If you're not paying attention, then your villagers will just get stuck there. But that the suckage gets stronger. So, you gotta be careful. It's like in A Bug's Life. Does anyone remember that movie? It's like, no, Harry, don't look at the light. I can't help it. It's so beautiful. Bzz. Yeah, that's essentially what happens. I love that movie, man. I love that movie. I always remember that one scene. So, Hank is trying to save his farmers. I don't think you have to worry about your kings dying. Yeah, later on, of course, you could lose your kings, but for now, I think you're okay. So I want to show you guys the pulse, because I know a lot of people weren't here. So look at this TC, for example. You can see it's lost HP, but it's not losing any HP right now. There we go, just lost a little bit. So that's what I'm calling a pulse. and then the period in time between the pulses gets faster. So for now, you're fine to run over here, and now you're not, right? So eventually, this storm will start doing 300, 400, 500, 600 damage a pop. And there will be less time, I believe, between the pulses. So you really do need to be careful with your kings. And again, I said Roach will build his castle early because he needs trebs, but he'll eventually lose this castle. So he might need to think about purchasing another one or just save every treb you make. Good thing about this map is there are relics. So players are already getting relics. The overlay shows that Oedipus, who again was disappointed to find that you couldn't build a lumber camp in this gap the first time we tried it. He's doing a good job. Pulses shouldn't get faster. Maybe they don't get faster. I don't know. Hey, if I have AoE HD that I bought on Steam and the Conquerors expansion disc, can I still use the disc? So it's kind of one or the other. If you purchased it on HD, you already have Conquerors there, because the base HD game includes the Conquerors. So in that case, I would recommend using the compatibility patch, just in case you end up buying any additional expansions. But yeah, you could use either. So that patch info, I'm working on making things more clear for everybody, because I realize, though there's a lot of YouTubers and streamers, there's really no one that's going out of their way to make it clear for all the new people. So I'm going to try and do my best on this. But the info for the patch you can find by typing !Voobly. And also in my FAQ section below the stream, you can find the info there. But I do suggest also, when you go below the stream, to join the Discord, because there's a tech support channel, and it is kind of weird at the start, and it can be kind of annoying to get underway. So that's why I have tech support there. And they're just volunteers who happen to know everything about it, so yeah, you should probably try the patch, but it wouldn't hurt to join the Discord as well. Okay, another wave is about to come in. These guys are already getting sucked in, and there will be more suckage in a second. And more strength to the suckage. Yep. Oh boy! So Hank told me that in the corners, the terrain isn't the best indicator, because it's hard to know exactly where it will be. So you could see that some of the snowy area is actually sucking in the villagers. Roach needs to run away. See, everyone else can cut with Onager. He can't. You have to think about your castles. You have to think about your TCs. You have to think about your monasteries. How important are relics on a map with no gold? Very important. You know, Hank needs to be careful with this with this king. I don't know if he knew that there were trebs there from Roach. I don't know if Roach is done for, guys. I don't know. I think there is potential because other people are cutting a path for him. So if he just gets into them, he could kill them and then take all the land that they've cut. But it's obviously going to be difficult. Poor Yellow. He's done a good job. Yellow has done a good job. Look at how much he's lost. Heck of a job from Yellow to survive. Oh, Instant Fern. They can... Well, first of all, this alert is sometimes bugged out. Sometimes you'll see in competitive games that Viper has sold 2,000 wood, when in reality he didn't. It bugs out at times. But on Voobly, again, one of many things, User Patch added a feature that allows you to sell all your resources if you hold Shift and Control. So it is possible with a special hotkey to sell 100,000 wood in one click. Yeah, I was just saying Yellow's doing a good job. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. And Arclet wants to take the space. Arclet will not be threatened by Afrovaxer anymore. And Eldry says, Trirum, what is this? and Trireme just says he's cutting, which is true. Give credit to Eldry and Trireme. The conditions are already against them. They're not against each other. That's a smart move. But in Arclet's case, it does make sense to wipe out yellow because you don't want anyone to snipe your king. And where's the king going to be? It's going to be closer and closer to the middle because you're trying to evade the storm. So before you know it, Roach will be into Gray's base. Does Oedipus have anything? He's making Cavalier, which would be enough. Roach's king is in this castle, which is currently in the storm, but it's slowly dying. The monastery is safe, but he probably needs to push forward. Hank is having none of it here. Fortified walls, fat slobbing it up, and siege onagers. Big fancy baby's having a fancy old time over here, Skip. He's doing alright. It is funny to look at all the land they used to have. Yeah, I feel bad for Yellow because he had that lumber camp start. Look at this micro! The guy's a god of micro. Now both skirmishers and onagers have minimum range, so... Shame on Arclet for not letting him try and micro that down. Shame on him for using the karambits. I wanted to see that play out. So the next storm will come in 1 minute. That storm will hit this white area. So anyone who has units or buildings there, they'll need to be careful. Sure, Burmese get full upgrades on their Cavalier, but Huns get full upgrades on their Halbs. And Halbs are fairly common when there's not golds. Roach is just trying to get through the Cavalier, plugging the gap. I think Roach could kill Oedipus. And Oedipus has got all this space. So as I said, man, do not count Roach out. Yellow, you can pretty much count out. You can get the Fs ready. Arclet's playing really well. He's relocating the relics. Pretty much killed the guy already. His population's not very high. That's the worrying thing. I know it's kind of hard to see, but probably because he lost quite a few farmers there. Oh! Yellow coming in clutch, but there's the king. And F's in the chat for Yellow. That was right when the storm pushed onto his town center. It was just a matter of time, really. And yes, now the storm is killing more of everybody's units. And Roach had to move his king forward. I just need to look around to make sure that everyone has protected their kings. Yeah, see, relics being lost now. Trireme's king is here, and Eldry's king is here. Arclet will now lose his castle. Again, the importance of building your castles later rather than sooner. Because to purchase a new one, it's almost impossible, actually. With the amount of gold they have. It's about 300 gold to purchase 100 stone, and you need 650 stone to build the castle. So, we will do this again in the future. So, just some things to keep in mind. Relocating relics, building castles as late as possible, and then cutting early, which is fairly obvious. I think the big one that people forget about is the fact that they should relocate the relics. Because, watch, this monk will try and go out here. And, oh! He got hit. Maybe he's okay for now. But even then, in another 5 minutes, he'll need to move his monastery. And I think Roach is in trouble. Oedipus has the Burmese two-handed swordsman. So they have the extra attack, which is free. Roach only has 42 population. His king is in this TC. I don't know if that king will survive much longer. Now, Hank is boxing players out of the middle. He boxed Roach out of the middle. He's now boxing Oedipus out of the middle. So that'll be a fight to look forward to. I swear, every single time there's a game, gray and green are always right next to one another. It's so difficult for me to be able to tell the two apart. But okay, a big fancy baby making a big old space here. And the storm is only getting stronger. Relic count. Leaders. Oedipus and Arclet with 4. Hank. He obviously has resources. He's now researching Paladin. Not only did this guy create the map, he knows how to play as well. And Roach says, no, Onager really sucks. Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be a problem. So I think Roach is going to bow out here. And then I'm curious, how will the fight between... Is it Oedipus? Some people are being nitpicky in the chat. Is it Oedipus? I'm calling him Oedipus. Whoever it is... Whoa, the king just got a kill! And now he's dead. But, anywho, I'm curious to see how the fight goes here. Because it is Burmese. I think you gotta cut more. I think you gotta cut more space for eco and for buildings. Pretty wild game. It's actually... You need a pretty high level to have success with this, don't you? There's so many factors. Relocating relics constantly, cutting constantly, adding more eco constantly. Arclet, he's losing economy. That's the problem. And in 30 seconds, the storm will get stronger, and it will progress another 10-ish tiles. And I think these villagers will be hit, so it will hit the sandy surface next. This is awesome. This is awesome. And boom. Storm? Whoa! Oh man, the weather forecast was a little bit off. With the timing anyway, but the prediction was accurate. All the farms go down, the houses go down, the villagers go down. Man, is that strong. Whew, man. And Eldry and Trirem are trying their best to not kill each other here. Not much they can really do about it, though. Their units will auto-attack each other. I think someone just needs to man up and go for the snipe. Eldry, he's going to have to leave this town center soon. And I think Eldry knows that he'll be vulnerable, so... Oh! He's building a castle! This could be big! This could be the end of Trirem. Trirem, who did very well in the 3rd episode of the Battle Royale, it wasn't Force Nothing. There's now a castle next to him, and he can't cut away. So, I mean, he has to, right? He has to run away from this. And he has to somehow get free. I think Trirem's in trouble. He's only at 31 pop. He's way behind there. Guys, the snow area in the center circle, that does not get hit by the storm. So this castle is safe, at least from the storm. Hank now has to repair. Oedipus has no TC. He had no space for economy, so he's probably out of the game despite his score. Anything can happen, of course. All you have to do is look at the minimap to know who's doing well. A big fancy baby has a big space for himself. 110 population. Alright. It could be a 1v1. I don't even know if it's possible to get down to a 1v1v1v1 in the end, because there's so little space. I guess we'll see soon enough. Oh, Hank's out of stone, so Hank can't repair his castle. Oh, it'd be so good to have a castle in late game as well in the center. How unfortunate is that for Hank? He builds it in the correct area, and then Gray shows up with that treb. Oh! It'll go down. Oh, if he would have repaired just a little bit. Crazy. Just crazy. Gray is dead. He's dead. He won't be able to last. Arclet has been moving his relics. He's back up to 4. We'll get 5 here. He doesn't have the economy to keep this up. And he doesn't have space. Oh, man. Trirem still... Wait. We missed something epic. Eldry had to run from this TC into his castle, and he survived. So these guys are having one of the weirdest battles I've seen in a long time. Trirem is repairing his siege workshop. He's on 17 pop. His king is still in here. The onagers are just being repaired. Oh, what on earth am I seeing? I would be amazed if Trirem wins this. But maybe because he's Byzantines, with the extra HP on his town centers, that'll save him. I would be amazed. He just can't kill the castle, so... just a matter of time, surely. T90 Official, I'm having fish for dinner, not salmon, but still. Dude, my stomach growled 5 seconds before you said that, Philster. It's like my body knew. Gray's king is just chilling. And the storm is about to ramp up. Hide your kings. Get your relics, man. And there goes the king for Trirem. And he might survive the storm, but he will not survive from the Pointy Boys. Pointy Boys get a kill. Trirem calls the GG, and Eldry now has a little bit of freedom. But he needs to cut quickly. He needs to cut very quickly. Look at that storm. And luckily for him, he didn't have a lot there, so it's fine. Hank the Super Nerd, he has the most population. Oh no, he doesn't have the most population. He's tied for most. But Big Fancy Baby has resources? Yeah, I don't know how to call this. It's definitely between Big Fancy Baby and Hank. The score is very deceiving. Where are the kings hiding? Probably in the TCs for Hank. Yeah, this TC for Hank. And then the castle for Teal. However, the castle will get hit before you know it. What is the price of... Does somebody have a market so I can see the prices? Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's 324 gold to purchase 100 stone. And that only goes up. So it's got to be tough to buy another castle, but... if you see that your opponent doesn't have any trebs, maybe just go for it. I don't think anyone has trebuchets. Elite Karambit Warriors going into the base of Hank. Hank doesn't have the resources for this. And the Karambit Warriors are so damn cheap. Now, there is a castle for Arclit. It's rather far forward, so he could make more of these. He's going in for the King Snipe. The king is actually on the move! The king is in the middle! The king is in the middle! Hank has just conceded defeat. He knows he can't fight this back, and he sends his king into the middle. He's going to build some towers. He will try and outlast everyone else, which probably isn't going to happen because Teal's here. But hey, it's a Teuton tower. He can fit more kings in there, guys. Come on. Overpowered. Wow. And Arclit, I want to say he's gaining space. He's really just gaining security because this space will soon be useless. But maybe, just maybe, he could snipe the relics, which will help him out. Eldry, I feel like I haven't given him enough props. He fought off Trirem. He now, with 110 population, is cutting towards the middle. I think Hank knows it's over now. He needs to start getting, I guess, chemistry for his towers. Just build whatever you can. Get whatever upgrades you can. He says no. Oedipus is defeated. Was that by the storm? Oh no, by Arclit, actually. So good snipe from him. Hank says T90 fine. Arclit says, LMAO, did I kill Gray? Yeah, Gray had about 10 units left and you just found them by chance. So Arclit needs to cut to the middle, man. He needs to cut to the middle. He will lose everything that's in the snow next. I think. Let's see. So much destruction. I guess, yeah. He will lose whatever's in the sands next. Or maybe it's a dark terrain. Maybe it's a dark terrain. One of those two. Oh, jeez. Well, one tower went down for Hank, who somehow has 50 population remaining. What? Did those towers just kill the onagers? It's funny. And oh, I love the castle from Eldry. So he's the only person that has a castle in the center. However, Teal has trebs. So I don't think the castle will stay up. Yeah, exactly. Everybody needs to be in the middle. That's just how crazy this is. 1 more minute, another wave. I think Teal's in the best position, both in resources and pop. But he could lose half of his population in one single wave. And we'll see soon enough. Losing vills isn't a huge deal now. I think it's more about losing production buildings. So I would even consider deleting some farms now and just building more buildings. Hey, luckily, Hank gets murder holes for free. Eldry's king is in this castle, wouldn't it? Oh! No! What are you doing? No! Oh, come on, man! That's the wrong area to go. Hank goes down. Eldry goes down. Eldry still had a fighting chance. It's just that his castle... The gather point was in the center of the map. That's where the king wanted to be. He knew it was safe there. Oh my goodness, I did not expect that. 2 people left now. Arklet and Big Fancy Baby. You can see the storm has advanced, but they can both survive a few more waves. I do fear for Arklet's economy, but the populations, Arklet's actually ahead. And these Karambit warriors are so freaking cheap. They also only take up half population space. Arklet's just spamming these things. He has the gold for it. He has the food for it. Is he gonna win it right here? Big Fancy Baby does not have gold. He needs to mass Arbalest, and he's working on it. Luckily for him, the Karambits are also quite weak. It's just that they're good in numbers. I think it's fine. Let's get the T90 fine spam going. I think it's fine. 40 population versus 66 population. Again, 6 more minutes until the next wave comes in. Oh man, what a finish. No defense upgrades, which is an issue. Because then the Karambits will do even more work than they should versus the Arbs, but... I guess it's about controlling the middle, right? And Arklet has done that. He's repositioning his relics again. Really smart thinking. He needs to go back for these. Oh, so good question. Can you castle the middle? So, this white area you can build in the middle, but the sand terrain you cannot. So you can't actually castle the middle. You can only castle around the middle. So this castle will go down for Arklet to a wave at some point. Hypothetically, Teal wins if he just keeps his king here, because this does not get hit by the wave. So if he keeps his king here, Arklet's king will be here, and he does have ranged units, right? It's not as though Arklet can send his king. I guess maybe he can park it there, but that's too close for comfort. Arklet will lose more than Teal will, I think. And Arklet will lose his castle, which means he cannot create Karambits. He is creating some onagers now, though. There will be some juicy shots. I can pretty much guarantee that. And there's no defense upgrades on the skirms. And I mean, these things will just get flattened. They have the attack, but they will get flattened. I think Light Cav would be in order here for Big Fancy Baby. It's obviously very tough to follow everything and keep up. Light Cav would be really important. You know, another concern is players could get housed. All of these houses could die, and then you won't have pop space to build things. Yeah, I don't think you need to do this. I know you're fancy and all. But, eh. No! No! Oh, God. T90 throw. You're not forced to take that engagement, really. No! Eldry's chasing him down as well. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. Arclet with 325 kills, 180 deaths. Certainly now he has an advantage. Hard to say though, Teal has so much more coming. I will keep an eye on Arclet's economy and Teal's economy once the wave advances again. It's pretty obvious it'll take a large chunk off the edges. Oh, please kill the Onager. Oh, kill the Onager. Kill the Onager. All right, well done. And he's in a choke point, so it won't be all that bad. But his king is here. And again, no defense upgrades. These things just melt without any defense upgrades, and now he doesn't have gold to make anything but skirms, which Karambits will melt. And here comes the wave! The king's right there! Arclet gets the win. Wow. What an aggressive play from Arclet. Arclet got how many king snipes? He killed yellow. He killed blue. He killed purple. He killed teal. Basically, any king that got close to him, he finished off. Great game from him. I want to see the relic gold, because the impressive thing about this, look at that. 11 relics captured, and look at the relic gold. He probably built a dozen monasteries this game. And I said it in the previous cast. I said, the one thing that's hard to think of is relocating the monasteries. So obviously, Arclet, he's been around the stream a long time, pays close attention. He did that, and I think because of that, he had the gold to maybe buy things he might need, like buy wood and food that could have been a need for him at some point because of the lack of eco. Obviously, create Karambits, create the Onagers, which Teal couldn't do. Teal didn't have any gold remaining, and there's a relic there, there's a relic there, there's a relic there, there's a relic. See, there's just lots of relics that he forgot about. All in all, though, that was another pretty entertaining game. You really never know what's going to happen in this game mode. Eldry, of course, committed suicide, so it would have been different if he could play and make a few onagers. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a unique idea, and it's good to switch it up every now and then. Okay, so there is the KD. Arclet with 366 kills. Really boosted up his KD versus Teal. In fact, the deaths and the kills are flip-flopped for both of them. Arclet with way more golds. Hank had an amazing situation. He had gold, he had Siege Onager, he had Paladin, but he didn't expect the raid. I think he was just surprised. And those Karambit Warriors, man, they're so cheap, they're so quick, they killed his economy pretty quickly. Eldry said, that was fun to play, wasn't intentional to die there, of course. Oh, of course, I know you didn't do that intentionally. Of course. I think it would have been tough for his Karambits, Eldry. I don't know how much gold you had. If you could go champions in Halbs, then maybe. But it really would have been tough for you because the Karambit Warriors would beat your Halberdiers. I doubt you had Druzina either, which is a tech that maybe would have decided that. But anyhow, it was another entertaining game of, what are we calling it? Force Nothing Royale, I guess. Thank you everybody for playing, and of course thank you guys for watching here on Twitch. For those on YouTube, if you'd like to check out the Twitch stream in the future, we had lots of new people here today who did so, and the link is below in the video description. We do community games every single Thursday, and of course I'm streaming other days as well. The stream itself is not over. I know that sounded like an outro to the stream itself. The stream will continue, so don't worry about that. But this is the end of the video, so say hello. T90 Unknowns Battlegrounds. I don't know, as I said, I gotta be careful. If I say Fortnite in AoE 2 and then a bunch of PogChamps on the thumbnail, that might be a bit too clickbaity for people. You gotta be careful, right? Z Tolka, thank you very much for the Prime during that game. Mr. Douglas, thank you very much.